Mohamed Salah has tainted his Liverpool legacy, aimed at taking a leaf out of Cristiano Ronaldo's playbook. There is no way back. In one of the most pivotal scenes during the hit movie Moneyball, which tells the story of the Oakland Athletics' groundbreaking, data-led approach in baseball later copied by the Fenway Sports Group, both the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool, the club's general manager Billy Beane has a candid discussion with veteran player David Justice over his role. "David, you're 37. How about you and I be honest about what each of us wants out of this? I want to milk the last ounce of baseball you got in you, and you want to stay in the show," Beane, played by Brad Pitt, says after interrupting Justice in the middle of a batting practice. "Let's do that. Now, I'm not paying you for the player you used to be, I'm paying you for the player you are right now. You're smart. You get what we're trying to do here. Make an example for the younger guys. Be a leader. Can you do that?" Justice, whose body language switches from dismissive and defensive to fully engaged during Beane's speech, accepts that challenge and subsequently helps to revive the A's fortunes. It's easy to imagine Arne Slot pulling Mohamed Salah aside and delivering some similar home truths amid Liverpool's struggles for consistency on the football pitch this season, only to be met with a far more hostile response. Salah signed a new contract at Anfield back in April that guaranteed him another 2 years in the Premier League show. But the 33-year-old has since failed to set a shining example as the highest-paid player in the Liverpool squad, or seemingly take on board any constructive criticism. Instead of stepping forward as a leader in times of trouble, Salah has become a destructive force, putting himself above the team. No one can take away the Egyptian king's status as a Reds icon after so many years of brilliance and tangible success, but his decision to publicly speak out against Slot after being dropped to the bench has permanently tainted his legacy. From talisman to complete liability, Salah finished 4th in the final vote for the 2025 Ballon d'Or, which was a fair reflection of his stellar contribution to Liverpool's Premier League title success in 2024-2025. Ever present under Slot in the Dutchman's first year at the helm, Salah racked up a combined total of 47 goals and assists, the most ever recorded in a 38-game season. His ruthless finishing and dazzling playmaking skills made the difference week in, week out, and in August, he deservedly became the first man to ever win the PFA Players Player of the Year award 3 times. But Salah hasn't come close to matching those heights in the first half of the current campaign. In fact, it could easily be argued that he has become a liability. The former Roma and Chelsea forward has only scored 5 goals in 19 appearances across all competitions, and even more worryingly, has been almost completely anonymous in Liverpool's build-up play and defensive phases. There are 2 key reasons for that. The first is that Trent Alexander-Arnold's summer move to Real Madrid has hit Salah harder than anyone could have predicted. Without a constant supply of world-class service down the right flank from the England international, Salah has looked completely lost. Secondly, Liverpool have also been unable to cover for Salah's refusal to track back without pressing monsters Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota. The club's decision to sell Diaz to Bayern Munich in the summer window has aged poorly, and the tragic death of Jota has left a void that new additions such as Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike have yet to fill. There have been widespread calls for Salah to be taken out of the team throughout the season, which Slot largely resisted initially. He was restricted to late Champions League cameos against Galatasaray and Eintracht Frankfurt, but started all of Liverpool's first 12 Premier League games. Slot showed Salah a great deal of loyalty based on the mutual trust they had built up last term, especially as results took a major turn for the worse. The Reds endured a run of 9 defeats in 12 games across all competitions, with a 3-0 home loss to struggling Nottingham Forest marking the lowest point. Liverpool dropped to 11th in the table after that result 11 points behind leaders Arsenal after just 12 matches. Their title defence ended that day, and Slot was, in the eyes of many, hanging on to his job by a thread. Shoring up the weak right side that opponents had been exploiting at will was the first obvious step towards steadying the ship, and that meant taking Salah out of the firing line, which Slot did for the trip to West Ham on November 30th. Sure enough, the Reds produced a much improved display to win 2-0, and Salah didn't even get off the bench. He did get a full 45 minutes as a half-time substitute in the 1-1 draw with Sunderland at Anfield 3 days later, but found himself back in the dugout for the duration of Liverpool's 3-3 thriller against Leeds on Saturday. There was nothing much wrong with the attack at Ellen Road. It was a series of familiar defensive mistakes that cost Slot's side. Liverpool may well have lost the game had Salah been on, and in the same half-hearted mood he has been all season. So when he accused Slot of throwing him under the bus after the game, it was impossible to feel any sympathy towards the Egypt international.